Women in Africa push for actualization of 35% affirmation action. Plus, what next after the release of the 2025 WAEC result? This and more we have for you on Panaroma, coming to you live from NTA Benin Network Center. I am Udrakobong Achibong. Breaking barriers and shattering glass ceilings is a slogan that will keep resonating in the nooks and crannies of Africa until women attain the desired 35% affirmative action. This is the agreement reached by the Community Women in African Summit during a town hall meeting preceding the 2025 Rwanda Summit scheduled for October this year. Monsieur Damien Dati has the details.
Empowering women isn't just about numbers. It's about harnessing the wealth of experiences, knowledge, compassion, and skills that can transform societies and prove for innovative solutions to evolving challenges. This town hall meeting is therefore a testament to the power of collaboration and the need to push the conversation forward.
We must take personal ownership of our collective power to change the narrative as women, as we work with other women advocates.
Recognize the power of representation. When women occupy leadership roles, they not only serve as role models, but they also challenge preconceived notions about gender and leadership.
When you exclude women, you don't have peace, you don't have development, you don't have economic growth.
Women are true change agents when it comes to leadership.
The voices of the he-for-she advocates play a crucial role in driving such conversations on gender empowerment.
Nobody should see women inclusion as a favor. It's actually a must.
Let us work together to foster an environment where women leadership is not just accepted, but celebrated and actively encouraged.
The women decide for themselves that
this movement is gaining momentum towards a more inclusive and equitable future.
Amplify and engage.
Monsieur Damien Dati, NTA News.
All is now set for the August 16 Edo Central and Ovia Federal Constituency by-elections, as all necessary arrangements have been put in place to ensure the success of the exercise. The Edo State Resident Electoral Commissioner, Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC Anubum Onoa, was speaking during a media conference in Benin City. Rosemary Umani reports.
The Resident Electoral Commissioner, Anubum Onoa, revealed that 14 political parties earlier indicated interest in the by-elections, but only 9 were accredited, having met the requirements. The REC stated that adequate arrangements have been made to accommodate the physically challenged and those at the riverine areas. He assured Edo people of credible, free and fair elections come August 16, while calling on electorate yet to collect their voter cards to do so.
No election will appear to be successful without the involvement of the people. People should be involved from the process of the election to the actual election day. You know that election is a process that has started from the date of the election, and it will end on the 16th of this month.
The briefing also gave opportunity for questions to the Resident Electoral Commissioner, while the Labour Party was not included in the exercise.
Political primaries, they are the duties of the political party. Our role is to monitor. And for we to monitor, they have to write to us that expressing their interest in the process.
The 9 political parties participating in the forthcoming by-election are the All Progressives Congress, APC, People's Democratic Party, PDP, African Democratic Party, ADC, Action Alliance, AA, People's Progressive Party, PPP, New Nigeria People's Party, NNPP, Action Democratic Party, ADP, Allied People's Party, APP, and Zenith Labour Party, ZLP. In Benin, Rosemary Omanu, NTA News.
Now, the West African Examinations Council has released the 2025 May-June West African Senior School Certificate Examination WAEC results, revealing a significant decline in performance compared to last year. Only 38.32% of candidates achieved 5 credits, including English and mathematics. Gabriel Sage reports on the reactions of candidates and educators, highlighting the factors that contributed to this poor performance.
The 2025 WAEC results showed that 38.32% of the candidates recorded 5 credits or more, including English and mathematics. This represents 33.8% decline from 2024 performance of candidates, where 72.12% candidates had credits in 5 subjects and above, including English and mathematics. WAEC's head of Nigeria office, Dr. Amos Josiah Dangote, referred to this poor performance from the candidates as national educational collapse. This made educationists say candidates who perform poorly may face challenges in gaining admission to their preferred institutions. Candidates and teachers attributed the poor performance to several factors, including late arrival of examination papers, power outages of examination centers, and other unfavorable conditions.
The exam was delayed till later in the night. There are some persons that wrote exams under traffic lights. There are some persons that wrote exams with phone touch lights. Students who read, all of them were given low grades, and nobody even expected that they were going to fail in such extent or to such extent.
They wrote English around 2 p.m. Students were still writing, so the government should try. It's not anybody's fault.
They called on the government to provide necessary facilities to ensure a conducive environment for future examinations. Some candidates and teachers also expressed concerns about the impact of computer-based tests, CBT, on performance.
What I expected WAEC to do was possibly just let these young people pass. For the sake of those that have written JAM, they've had good scores, and the WAEC result comes out now and they are getting F9, D7, E8, knowing that these schools, these Nigerian universities will not accept them.
If there's any way they can reschedule the exams so that they can write the examination and actually make up for the subjects they have failed.
A school that has almost 1,000 population assesses 3 students, how will you expect them to write CBT? Why normal using paper to write is hell, then using CBT to not be possible.
With these issues highlighted, the council with immediate effect temporarily withdrew the 2025 WAEC results, saying it was due to technical issues in the results release process. They reassured the candidates that the issue will be resolved after 24 hours in order to rectify the identified errors. In Benin, Gabriel Osage, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the West African Examinations Council, WAEC, says it has discovered technical issues during the internal review of the recently released result of the 2025 West African Senior School Certificate Examination, WASE, for school candidates. This says in a bid to curb examination malpractice, the council introduced an innovation known as paper serialization, a method already in use by another national examination body and aligns with international best practices in assessment. This serialization was applied in mathematics, English language, biology, and economics. Following the release of the result, an internal post-release review revealed some technical glitches affecting the affected subject. In line with WAEC's commitment to fairness and professionalism, the Council has decided to urgently review and correct these issues. Consequently, access to the 2025 WASE result has been temporarily suspended on the Result Checker portal. WAEC offers apologies to all affected candidates and the public for any inconvenience caused. The council assures that the matter is being handled with transparency and urgency, with the resolution expected within the next 24 hours. Candidates who have already checked their result are advised to recheck after this period. The Council says it remains steadfast in its mission to uphold excellence, fairness, and transparency in all assessment. Now we are talking WAEC result released recently, and that launches us into our discussion segment on Panaroma this afternoon. And I have here in the studio a coordinating evaluator, Federal Education Quality Assurance Service, Federal Ministry of Education, Edo State Office. I'm talking about Mrs. Caroline Ikem.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, welcome to the studio.
Thank you so very much.
Yes.
I'm honored to be here.
Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
From what we've heard, WAEC has released the WASE result, and we have so many things. From what has been said, the performance has been so poor, percentage of pass is so low, and WAEC is saying they're reviewing everything and all that. What do you make of all this?
Well, it's a good thing for them to review the results, actually, because there were real challenges during that exam, especially during English language. My team and I were in the field during that exam. There were some real challenges. We were supposed to have the paper in the afternoon, but it lingered on till the night. We had the essay paper, paper 2, was taken around after 5. It lingered till about 8. And I had information from my team people that were in other parts of the state. At about 4:30, when the paper was not coming, I had to find out whether there was light in the exam hall for the students to be able to take the exams. And they said there was no light. So I had to ask them to tell the principal, maybe students, to go and get either torchlights or whatever, or maybe generator, so that they can use for the exams. I myself, I was in the hall. I didn't leave the hall until about 8 p.m. that night. So considering the trauma, I think and English being a major subject, I think is an issue that must have contributed to the very poor performance. It was really abysmal. I think for the past 10 years, this is the worst. I think in 2015, it was around 38.68 pass percentage. This year is 38.32, so it's quite low. And with the number of candidates that registered for that exam, that means almost 1 million or over 1 million candidates did not make it. And with the standards, they cannot go higher. That means, because for you to go further after your secondary school education, for tertiary education, you have to have 5 credits, plus including English and maths. So here, English is a limiting factor. Even if you have 6 credits in other subjects, without passing English, you can't go further. So it's very important. And I think it's timely that WAEC is trying to review it and maybe look at the issues actually concerned. Most of the states had the same problem, maybe except for a very few states. Because when this thing was on, we had to make calls to other states to find out how they were doing.
And then we are looking about, we seem to see the same thing happening when we're looking at JAM results and all that. There was equally this complaint of technical glitches, and we are having it here. And at the end of the day, what does this talk about the education sector, and what next after now?
Well, I think this one is quite different from JAM, because JAM is actually a placement exam, but WASE, it's a certificate examination. It's very, very, very important for our children. And I think our exam bodies need to do better in terms of timeliness and making sure that the papers arrive at the exam centers on time. Although there were a problem, they said there was, they suspected that the paper had leaked. I should have thought that they would have postponed that particular paper instead of insisting on doing it that same day. Because even at that, some other states, like I know about Akwa Ibom State, was earlier. They didn't stay as long as at 5:36 in the evening. So such a thing can also bring about examination malpractice. When you have some states doing the same exam around 3, 4, and some other states doing around 5, 6, there's a problem there. So I think WAEC needs to look inwards. In this, we know it's a regional body, but WAEC here needs to look inwards and see what they can do to make it the process seamless.
Yes, WAEC needs to look inward to ensure a seamless process so that at the end of the day, we will not keep having these poor performances in certificate examinations. Thank you so much, Mrs. Caroline Ikem, for coming to the studio to share your thoughts.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Have a wonderful day.
All right, we now take a break. We'll be back shortly. Please stay.
From the Atlantic across the savannah to the Sahara, we rise, a land of the free, we know they tire. We dream great, our spirit is undying.
Resilient, rooted like palm tree, we sway in colors, with undying demand. We make solutions, we ignite passion, yeah. Ethnicity is unique, we are more than just a nation.
We are Nigeria, strengthening unity. We know they carry lives. We are Nigeria, together live the dream of a land with great destiny. We are Nigeria.
I am the real Nigerian. Brought to you by the National Orientation Agency, NOA.
Thanks for staying tuned. Now, a survey conducted across the 36 states of the Federation on elite consensus tallied around development and challenges in Nigeria has been presented at a stakeholders validation workshop. The research is the handiwork of the National Institute for Legislative and Democratic Studies as a capacity building institution for national growth. Muhammad Rabiu Ali reports.
The National Institute for Legislative and Democratic Studies Elite Consensus Project commenced 2 years ago with a methodology presented in March 2024 by the seasoned academics, civil society organizations, and practitioners from all walks of life to chart the course in galvanizing the views of the elites on key sectors of national development. At the presentation of the survey report, stakeholders appreciated Nigerians with the conviction that, working together by putting the country first, Nigeria will surmount current challenges and serve as a model to other countries.
We are of the belief that contributing to galvanizing elite consensus for sustainable national economic growth and socio-economic development in Nigeria through this project would be a significant contribution by NILS aligned to one aspect of its mandate, that of democratic studies for Nigeria's development.
There is, however, little agreement, particularly among the elites, on which of these elements to prioritize and the best strategies to adopt. At this difficult time, it has become essential to innovate ways of navigating this vicissitude by leveraging the country's intellectual resources to provide a way forward to Nigeria's many challenges.
And it is in the interest of the elite to ensure that there is some inclusion of virtually all segments of society. There are countries that have done that, and they have made progress.
As a follow-up, a national summit is to be convened that will bring various elites together to chart a course to meaningful development. In Abuja, Muhammad Rabiu Ali, NTA News.
This Panorama, and that's what we have for you from Benin Network Center. Abuja takes it up from here.
Thank you. The Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority has formally requested the Attorney General of the Federation and the Inspector General of Police to initiate a thorough investigation into an incident involving renowned Nigerian musician King Wasiu Kwanwan Ayinde Marshal Pope. Domestic airline ValueJet. The incident occurred on Tuesday, August 5th, 2025, during a scheduled commercial flight. K1, the ultimate, allegedly violated Nigerian civil aviation regulations. The authority calls for prosecution under Nigerian CARS 2023 and other relevant laws if found guilty. The Director General of the Civil Aviation issues advisory to airline operators of Nigeria to consider temporary no-flight list for Kwanwan pending investigation conclusion. The agency reaffirmed its commitment to upholding safety, order, and compliance across Nigeria's airspace, stating that all passengers, regardless of status, must adhere strictly to aviation regulations. The federal government is ramping non-kinetic strategies in its fight against violent extremism with focus on agriculture and livelihood empowerment. Defense correspondent Ismail Musa was at the venue of the engagement involving foreign partners.
At this high-level donor and stakeholders meeting held at the National Counter-Terrorism Center in Abuja, government officials and development partners assessed progress on implementation of Memorandum of Understanding between the Center and the International Institute of Tropical Agriculture
of Nigeria.
The National Counter-Terrorism Center reaffirmed the government's commitment to a whole-of-government and a whole-of-society approach in combating terrorism.
We recognize that sustainable peace and security cannot be achieved through kinetic response alone. Non-kinetic strategies, particularly those that empower individuals and restore livelihoods, are essential to building lasting peace and preventing the resurgence of extremist ideologies.
The Sahel Hub at the International Institute of Tropical Agriculture is of the view the Seeds of Hope project will serve as a catalyst for reconciliation and economic revival.
The NCTC IT Seed for Hope initiative that brought us today was born out of a shared recognition that peace is not merely the absence of conflict, but the presence of opportunity, dignity, sustainable livelihood. To support conflict-affected communities in rebuilding their lives with sustainable agriculture.
The program is a critical component of non-kinetic approach to tackling insecurity. In Abuja, Ismail Musa, NTA News.
For stories trending in the sporting world, let's join Olumide Eguntola on Sports Update.
Under the watchful eyes of Coach Eric Chell, Nigeria's Chan Eagles are intensifying preparations for their second group game at the ongoing Chan Championship 2025 against Sudan next Tuesday. The Eagles' 0-1 loss to Senegal in the group opener makes it a must-win situation for the Nigerian side. Sudan is coming into the game with 1 point advantage after picking a draw in their first group match. In female football, the head coach of 10-time African champions, the Super Falcons of Nigeria, Justin Madugu, has been nominated for the prestigious 2025 Ballon d'Or Women's Team Coach of the Year trophy. Madugu is among global elite women's coach nominated for their remarkable leadership style. Sonia Bonpastor of France, Arthur Elias of Brazil, amongst others, made the list. A member of the Super Falcons team also made the list in goalkeeping category. In tennis, Canadian teenager Victoria Mboko conquered 4-time Grand Slam champion Naomi Osaka 2-6, 6-4, 6-1, capping a fairy-tale run at the WTA Canadian Open with her first WTA title. Mboko, 18 and playing her first WTA final, denied Osaka her first tour-level title since the 2021 Australian Open, wearing down the 27-year-old Japanese player. Mboko, who was ranked outside the top 300 to start the season and had climbed to 85th entering the week, is now projected to rise to 34th in the world. In combat sports, former Ultimate Fighting Championship UFC middleweight kingpin Israel Adesanya is ready to stage a comeback into the octagon. This is despite finding himself in the midst of the worst losing streak of his entire career. Adesanya, who lost his last 3 fights, revealed that he wants to get back soon for a comeback revenge mission on Strickland, who dethroned him in 2023, and Paulo Costa for a rematch. With sports update, Olumide Eguntola, NT News.
Well, that concludes Panorama for today. Thanks for watching.